The kibbutz is one of the most remarkable social and economic experiments undertaken by Jews in the land of Palestine. Its unique way of life, work system, and influence within Israeli society have attracted global attention. Origins: the vision of the new Jew. In the early 20th century, some Zionists believed that Jews had been disconnected from the land and manual labor for too long, confined to ghettos, and had become an abnormal people. To establish a Jewish national state, they argued, it was necessary first to restore the Jews as a self-sufficient people. The path to this was clear. Jews had to return to the land, reclaim agricultural skills, and cultivate the soil with their own hands. Their ideal was to revive the Jewish nation as a strong, brave, suntanned people, replacing the fragile, timid urban dwellers of Europe. At that time, early Zionists adopted a slogan that captured their mission: "Let us build this land, and let this land build us." Furthermore, socialist ideas had a strong influence among Jews from Russia and Eastern Europe who believed that the Zionist movement needed to combine with socialism to survive, and to establish a new society representing humanity's future. Rise and expansion against this backdrop, a group of young Eastern European immigrants, with the support of the Jewish National Fund, established the first kibbutz, Degania, in 1909 near the Sea of Galilee. Over nearly a century, the kibbutz movement endured numerous trials. Today, Israel has over 260 kibbutzim nationwide. Large kibbutzim can accommodate up to 2,000 members. In its early years, kibbutzim were almost entirely agricultural. Members cultivated the land, growing grains, cotton, vegetables, and fruits. Crucially, they also functioned as quasi-military organizations. All members were armed, combining agricultural work with military training, ready to fight when necessary. For instance, during the 1948 Arab-Israeli War, over 70 members of kibbutz Nitzanim resisted an entire Egyptian brigade for 6 days using only rudimentary weapons, buying crucial time for Haganah troop movements. The golden age of collectivism. While agriculture remained the mainstay of the kibbutz economy, it eventually became just one of many income sources. Most kibbutzim developed their own industries, sometimes running several factories producing a wide range of goods, from clothing and food to electronics and robotics. Many also developed tourism, opening hotels and recreational facilities. Over time, kibbutzim evolved from collective farms into integrated agro-industrial communities. Despite representing a small fraction of the population, kibbutzim contributed disproportionately to Israel's economy. They produced around 40% of the country's agricultural output and 7% of industrial production. The guiding principle was simple: from each according to their ability, to each according to their needs. All property and means of production were collectively owned. Members were fully equal, working and living together with no wages. All basic needs, food, clothing, housing, education, healthcare, and even overseas vacations, were provided by the kibbutz. Decisions were made collectively through member meetings and votes, with leadership positions elected for short terms to manage daily affairs. Work was rotated among members, 1 year in the fields, the next in the livestock pens, or in the communal kitchen. While women shared in the work rotation, traditional responsibilities such as childcare and household management were still largely assigned to them. Communal living and child-rearing kibbutzim attracted global interest due to their collective lifestyle. Initially, equality was strictly enforced. Members wore the same clothing and ate all meals in communal dining halls. Private family kitchens were rare, as cooking at home was considered antisocial. Perhaps the most controversial feature was the system of communal sleeping. Kibbutz children grew up collectively, often separated from parents and cared for in communal nurseries and children's houses. In the early decades, they returned home only for a few hours a day, fostering a strong sense of community over family attachment. However, due to psychological pressure and parental demand, this practice began to decline in the 1970s, and by the 1990s, almost all kibbutzim had abolished it, returning children to their parents' homes. Political influence. Although kibbutzim never exceeded 5% of Israel's population, their political, economic, and cultural influence was substantial. Many early members from Eastern Europe and Russia became political leaders, with 4 Israeli prime ministers, Ben-Gurion, Sharett, Eshkol, and Meir, coming from kibbutzim. During Labor Party rule from 1948 to 1977, roughly 1/3 of cabinet ministers were kibbutz members. Ben-Gurion, for example, famously retired to kibbutz Sde Boker in the desert, working in the sheep pen while continuing his writing. Crisis and transformation. Today, the kibbutz remains the world's only relatively successful communal socio-economic organization. However, the system faced a near collapse in the 1980s. Israel's massive economic crisis and hyperinflation left many kibbutzim with unmanageable debts, forcing them to rethink their structure. Consequently, most kibbutzim have transitioned into the renewed kibbutz model. They have aligned with broader Israeli society. Differential salaries. Members now earn wages based on their job and market value, rather than equal allowance for all. Privatization. Private property and savings are allowed, and members now pay for their own food and services. Employment. Many members work outside the kibbutz, while the kibbutz employs external laborers for agriculture and industry. Outside the kibbutz system, other structures exist, such as the moshav, a cooperative agricultural settlement emphasizing collaboration without full collectivization, and the histadrut, the powerful trade union federation. While these institutions emerged from the early combination of Zionism and socialism, their dominance, like that of the classic kibbutz, has diminished as Israel shifted toward a free market economy.